Before this video starts, I just want to let you know that this video is sponsored by yourplaymat.com. If you ever want custom sleeves, mats, or just a dope design for sleeves and mats, this is where you should be getting your stuff. Your Playmat has recognized that Chaotic is returning and wants to offer you amazing stuff for you to pick up in order to jump back into the dromes. They offer customization for standard size sleeves for those who want to get Chaotic, and smaller size sleeves for those who are ready to put their enemies into the Shadow Realm. There are mats for all kinds of sizes, not only for TCGs, but for wargaming, board games, and even mouse pads. They also have pre-designed mats and sleeves as well if you want to pick yourself up something really snazzy and stylish, like my buddy Raimuso Rudd's playmat. Be sure to click the link in the description below for 10% off your order. Click, shop, you're done. But if clicking is not your style, you can instead use my promo code CH10YP at checkout. The promo code and link will be applicable to all products in the store, which is pretty great. Again, click the link below or type CH10YP in the checkout if you want to support me and get a sweet discount on all your TCG goodies, which that's like the equivalent of trying to pass up an ultra rare card, which is insanity. Do your part, click the link below, or just type in CH10YP at checkout. Thank you for yourplaymat.com for this opportunity.
Welcome to Chaotic!
I need to discuss this situation with the Council of Codemasters.
That would be the new most totally awesomest thing that has ever happened to me!
And come prepared for defeat.
What's going on, everybody? It's Codemaster Hardrock. I'm back at it again with a new video. I thought I'd do something a little bit differently. I was inspired by this by another YouTube channel and thought I'd, jump in on this sort of bandwagon of getting to know me. I passed 600 subscribers, and it occurred to me that not a lot of people know about me, so figured I'd just jump right on into it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep going until I get tired of the questions or until I run out of time. Which, according to my time, is 40 minutes, so we'll get into it. We're just going to go from top to bottom, and if you want to read the questions, go ahead and pause it. Otherwise, I'm just going to blur it out loud. What shows are you into? Well, obviously, I'm into Chaotic, but if we're going to talk about other shows, I really loved Gargoyles growing up. I love that show. Static Shock, basically the entirety of the DC animated universe is great. Spectacular Spider-Man is amazing. I love that show to death. Mork and Mindy was another one that I really like. I really like a lot of old school stuff like 10 Speed and Brown Shoe. I like that show too. A couple of other things, but if we're going to talk about YouTube as well, I really love Good Mythical Morning. They're one of my favorite channels of all time. I don't start a day without them. Negative Legend. Love his stuff too. Love their stuff. Wow, there's just a lot of, people and shows that I really like or into, but there you go, there's a start. What is your claim to fame? I can't necessarily say I have anything like that. I guess meeting Brian Gannon, that was cool. How often do you play sports? So, I grew up playing a lot of sports, but if you were to ask me what my favorite sport is, basketball, for sure. Are you usually early or late? I'm an early bird. I gotta be up early. That's just how I roll. What quirks do you have? One for all. How often do you people watch? So in my job, I people watch all the time. That's just part of the gig. What is your favorite drink? I don't drink alcohol. It suggests that it could be alcoholic or non-alcoholic. Me personally, I love Gatorade. I love drinking Gatorade a lot. That's just my gym jam. But if you were to ask me, there's this blood orange beverage that I remember having. It's like a soda type situation. I don't drink soda often, but when I do, I like that. Or Baja Blast. Stuff's always so good. What do you hope never changes? Oh boy. I guess my outlook on life. I tend to be a very positive person, and I don't want to lose that. What is your dream car? The DeLorean. I love Back to the Future. That's one of my favorite movies of all time. The DeLorean would be awesome. I really like the Batmobile. Literally any of the live action ones. I think Batman Forever or Batman and Robin has like the flashiest looking one. And I think that'd be funny just to flex for that reason alone. But yeah, the DeLorean is going to be my go-to answer. Or Kevin Eleven's car from Ben 10. Where would you rather be from? So I plan on moving to Washington State, so I guess that's my answer. What songs have you completely memorized? Down with the Sickness by Disturbed. I memorized a majority of the Disturbed songs. A majority of U2 songs, because I'm working on a cover album right now, and I got a bunch of those down. Yeah, so there you go. What would you rate 10 out of 10? My fiance. What job would you be terrible at? What job would I be terrible at? A lot, actually. I can't really think of any off the top of my head, so if I come up with something, I'm sure I'll say something. But moving right along, what are you absolutely determined to do? So, as many of you know from the Chaotic Cast episode that I did with Low Tier for Life, I'm working on a card game called Powerline Ultra. I'm determined to get that finished. What skill would you like to master? Being really good at games in general. Specifically fighting games, because that's one of my favorite video game genres of all time. I love Killer Instinct. That's my favorite fighting game of all time, period, end of story. But I would like to get good at that, and I would like to get good at card games again. There's a lot of potential in both those things. What website do you visit most often? YouTube. I wonder why. What would your perfect room look like? So, like, if we're gonna talk about bedroom, let's say like my room's like a box, right? You know what? Let's use my deck box. So like this spot right here would be like my bed. Then you have like my shelves right over here, little window right there. There's the door, obviously, and right here is like my closet, and it's full of my other clothes and what have you. I like having a lot of walking space personally. I know it may not look the case, but I can't stand being a slob. I don't like that stuff. What movie title best describes your life? I'm not entirely sure. What movie title best describes my life? That's a pretty good question, actually. Wow. If I come up with one, I'll get back to that one, but I never thought about that. What age do you want to live to? Okay, so we're gonna get a little deep on this one. One of my fears is dying. I fear the idea of dying and just aging in general. I'm trying to get over that, and I've thought about seeking therapy for it, but as it currently stands, what age do I want to live to? It's not what I want to live to, it's where I want to stay. So, there you go. What kind of art do you enjoy the most? Comic book and anime style. That is my jam. I also really like paintings. So like Thomas Kincaid, stuff like that. I like that. What takes up too much of your time? Working a full-time job. What do you wish you knew more about? Just general electronics. So like cars, refrigerators, things like that. Hopefully in my next job I will get those sort of skills. What is the best way to start your day? Breakfast next to the ones you love. What mystery do you wish you knew the answer to? How to have immortality. Again, that links to my fear of death. But more specifically, what mystery do you wish you knew the answer to? The actual definitive release date for the public for the Chaotic relaunch. That'd be awesome. How different was your life 1 year ago? Drastically. I lived in a house, or not a house. No, I was still in the apartment that I'm currently living in, but I was living in a situation where I personally felt like I needed to move away and start doing my own things, and I realized my depression was getting the best of me, so yeah, wow, this video is getting deep. What is the best single day on the calendar? If we're not going to include birthdays or anything like that, I guess this will generalize and say, like, what's my favorite holiday is how I'm going to interpret this question. Halloween. I love Halloween. That's my favorite holiday of all time, next to Christmas and Thanksgiving, because that's like the one time I get to be with my family. What are some things you've had to unlearn? a lot of my self-deprecating, self-depreciation, and all these other really poorly tasted jokes that I would make at my own expense, I had to completely unlearn that and really just wipe that out. It was tarnishing my own life and my own relationships. What is your favorite genre of book or movie? I'm a sci-fi nerd. I love sci-fi. I love fantasy. So, like, I'm actually playing Dungeons & Dragons tonight, as a matter of fact, with my fiance and a friend of ours. It's going to be a good time. So, a mixture of those two, which was the main inspiration for Powerline Ultra, was sci-fi and fantasy. What is the furthest you've ever been from home? Physically, from this apartment that I'm currently sitting in a chair in, San Diego. What TV or YouTube channel doesn't exist but really should? Other than I personally feel as though Chaotic could use a few more channels. What channel doesn't exist but really should? A positive outlook channel. It's something that I've actually considered turning my main channel into, which is me just being very encouraging and just spilling my own life philosophies about positivity. And where is the most interesting place you've been? It's not necessarily interesting to a lot of people, but I went to the very last known location for Atomic Comics. That was awesome for me anyway. The other most interesting place I've ever been, wow, there's actually been a few that I could think of right off the top of my head, but that's gonna be it for me. What fad or trend do you hope comes back? Giant hair. I have a weakness for giant hair, so that's my answer. What city would you like to live in the most? If I am able to financially support myself and be emotionally content, San Diego or Seattle. Those are my two options, and I'm not going to take those back. When was the last time you climbed a tree just for fun? When I was about preteen, probably. So let's say 11 years old, just to play it safe. What do you consider to be your best find? My best find. My cover of Amazing Fantasy 15. That is Spider-Man's first appearance. That's my favorite superhero of all time. So there you go. What is special about the place you grew up? It's hot. That's the best I got. It could just be very much whatever. I'm from Arizona, for those of you who don't know. What age do you wish you could permanently be? This is the question I love to hear. The one I currently am is always been the answer for the past few, times I've thought about it. But again, if I could just, stop aging, I think I'd be content. That includes, my organs and all that staying the same. What is worth spending more on to get the best? Okay, so this is something that I've always preached to people. You always want to get good shoes because you're walking around a lot. You spend most of your time in bed, believe it or not, statistics and all that other stuff would have you believe that being in bed is where you spend the most time. So, a good bed, and honestly, food. The better you eat in terms of not only healthy, but things like that, the better you feel, because I went through a huge weight loss journey. I was almost 300 plus pounds, and now I'm sitting gravy really close to flat. So that's pretty nice. So there you guys go. What are you most likely to become famous for? The guy who's affiliated with Chaotic. What fictional place would you like to go to the most? Oh boy. I would love to go to Param, but I would also like to go to the Port Court in real life. That would be sick. Honestly, in terms of photos and things like that, Kaizef, the City of Elements, would be gorgeous to go to. I'm sort of weird though, because it's they're not just places that are fictional that I want to go to, but real places that I want to go to. I would love to go to Japan. That's number one on the list. I would like to go to Germany and Australia as well. That'd be awesome. What is the most relaxing place you've ever been to? Currently, San Diego. That was the one that I have the most positive memories about. And again, I celebrated my 8-year anniversary around that time. It was great. What have you recently formed an opinion about? Did I skip a question? No, I didn't. What have you recently formed an opinion about? I can't really say that I formed a recent opinion about something, but, What is the most heartwarming thing you've ever seen? I can't really think of any off the top of my head. If I think of something again, I'll say something. What is the most interesting piece of art you've ever seen? Most interesting. Oh, by the way, if you hear any background noise, there's construction going on in my complex. Most interesting piece of art I've ever seen. Anything done by Carrie Randolph, or anything my current artist for Powerline Ultra has made. What is something you do the old-fashioned way? Ha! What don't I do the old-fashioned way? I do a lot of things old-fashioned. I don't know, because I think about it, because I was raised by people who are currently in their 60s. You know, so that gives you some perspective on what my folks were like. I do a lot of stuff their way. I guess listening to music the old-fashioned way, because I catch myself listening to a lot of old musicians. Danny Kaye, Johnny Cash, but a lot of people would argue Johnny Cash is not older, but, you know, things like that. Buddy Holly, things like that. I like everything. So there's not one music genre that I could say I don't like. What would you rather go hang gliding or white water rafting? White water rafting, no question about it. That's not to say that I don't mind hang gliding. I do eventually want to do that, but if I had to pick one or the other to do first, water rafting. Who has impressed you the most with what they have accomplished? There isn't anybody in... Well, I could think of one other person. My friend Ricky. For those of you who know me personally, or know him personally, who I'm specifically referring to, you definitely know who I'm talking about. I've also been very impressed with my brother. I admire him a lot. I admire both of them. How do you relax after a hard day of work? Either playing video games, making food, or making videos for you guys. What popular TV show or movie do you refuse to watch? Wow, that's an interesting one. There isn't anything that I actively refuse to watch, because I'm willing to try anything. What job do you think you'd be really good at? Being an ambassador for Chaotic. There you go. What pets did you have while growing up? I had dogs. I had birds, fish, turtles, lizards. I've had just about almost every animal that you could feasibly get as a pet, except for hamsters and gerbils and like things like that. I've never had a fuzzy small animal. Where would you spend all your time if you could? The beach. Moving on. What would be the most amazing adventure to go on? I would love to go to Yakihabara in Japan. I would also like to go to Jump World and like just all the entertainment Japanese places. That'd be so cool. What is your ideal way to spend the weekend? Spending time with family. I know that sounds very like cheesy or whatever, but I genuinely do admire and spend like to spend as much time as I can with my family and as often as I can with my friends. If I were to pick my time, I would love to go to a convention. I miss those so much. So, with that being said, this is my PSA. Wear your mask. Get vaccinated. I myself am vaccinated. Okay? There you go. What's the best way a person could spend their time? I can't judge people. I cannot answer that question. What is the one thing you really want but you can't afford yet? A house. Moving on. What is the luckiest thing that has ever happened to you? Getting engaged. I always felt as though I was going to be a lonely person, but no, that's changed. What are small things that you... what are the small things that make your day better? Honestly, just people smiling and making other people smile. I'm a people pleaser. That's just who I am. What's the best thing that happened to you last week? I got a work bonus. That was cool. What are you looking forward to in the coming months? Any sort of update that I can provide you guys about Chaotic's return, as well as any updates to Powerline Ultra. What is your favorite piece of clothing you own/owned? I have a custom vest that I wear. It's kind of gothic. I'm adding spikes to the shoulders because I really like that style. But it's got like pins, all kinds of nerdy stuff. So that's my favorite piece of clothing. What is the most annoying habit that other people have? Making small sounds. I know some people can't help it, but I don't know. It just personally, it's annoying. What game or movie universe would you most like to live in? Chaotic. I love the Chaotic universe. If I were to be able to also be just like the majority of characters, oh boy. I would love to be a superhero. I would love to have superpowers. So, there you go. So, game-wise, I guess Infamous, the series. I love Infamous. That's my favorite video game series. Currently standing. But my favorite video game right now, God of War. I love God of War so much. I've replayed it tons of times, but right now I'm replaying my childhood favorite game, which was Dark Cloud on PS2. Matter of fact, I actually have my PS2 plugged in, like, right there. I was going to say I can't tell if you can see the controller, but there you go. What is the most impressive thing you know how to do? Again, have a positive outlook. I feel as though people don't have that, and that's really depressing. What's the best book series you've ever read? I didn't read too many books, but I did read comic books. My favorite comic book series of all time is Hellboy. There you go. What question would you like to know the answer to the most? How to achieve anti-aging forever and just stay the way I am for eternity. What are you interested in that most people haven't heard of? Chaotic. Honestly, there's a lot of other small things that I like that a bunch of other people don't like. Dark Cloud, just small stuff that I feel as though a lot of people don't really know too much about in true honesty. Like the lore of certain comic book characters that I absolutely love. I guess cosplay is going to be the true answer to that question, because cosplay is my passion. Why did you decide to do the work you are doing now? Listen, I'm not working my dream job. This was a job that, if those of you who know what I do, whatever. I applied to it as a joke. I used to be a little caregiver / kitchen staff for an old folks home before I got the job that I'm currently working at now. And what did it for me was there was a gentleman who I wound up growing attached to, taking care of him and make sure he had the best, rest of his days. I walked into his room and he had passed away, but before, I could do anything, he wrote a letter, and it was a thank you letter to me and all the staff, and it broke my heart. I couldn't do it. What state or country do you never want to go back to? Once I move, Arizona. I never want to come back here ever again. Where do you usually go when you have time off? My family's house. I like to see my brother and my grandma. What are you most looking forward to in the next 10 years? Owning a house and living the life I want to live. What is the most annoying question people ask you regularly? So, for those of you who already know my current occupation, I guess this is the question. Those of you who know, you already know. Can they drink water? Dumb question, I know. If you suddenly became a master at woodworking, what would you make? Houses. I would make a bunch of cool stuff for people, but houses would probably be the first thing. I would try to figure it out first. What could you give a 40-minute presentation with absolutely no preparation? Anything in relation to Spider-Man, cosplay, chaotic, making YouTube. There you go. Oh, as well as have a positive outlook. That's also another thing I would love to give a presentation on, is how I do it. What amazing thing did you do that no one was around to see? There's a lot of little things that come to mind, but there's nothing like crazy where I'm like, whoa, I guess it was a person. It was when I met Stan Lee. He came in my life where it was important. What hobby would you get into if time and money weren't an issue? Cosplay. It's not that it's a hobby that I would get into. It's a hobby that I want to expand. If you didn't have to sleep, what would you do with extra time? Work on videos. Work on videos, crack down on cosplay, and just make the coolest stuff. I just want to get stuff done for you guys. Because again, I'm a people pleaser. It's just how I operate. When people come to you for help all the time, what do you usually want help with? Either with a job or advice. That's usually what it comes down to. What is something you think everyone should do at least once in their lives? Learn how to properly cook. I feel as though learning 5 dishes, a breakfast, lunch, dinner, and 2 other miscellaneous dishes is important. Because, sexism isn't going to make you a sandwich. What is something you've been meaning to try but haven't gotten around to it? Something I've been meaning to try, but I haven't gotten around to it. Wow, there's a lot of stuff. Having a giant tournament. Hosting a giant tournament, rather. Whether it's for like a video game or cards. I think that'd be really fun. If all jobs had the same pay and hours... Oh, jeez. That's chaos. What job would you have? So I guess the job doesn't matter then if that is the case. So I would pick something easy. Being a janitor. There you go. Who's your go-to Bandit artist when you can't decide on something to listen to? It's not that I go to a particular artist. I just pick whatever's randomly there. Lately it's been Red Sun Rising. I really love that band a lot. But again, Disturbed and U2 are good options. I also really love Bruce Springsteen. So there you go. If you were the dictator, I really hope I'm not, of a small island nation, what crazy dictator stuff would you do? I would try to do what I can for every single individual who lived there. Just try my best. What is something most people consider to be a luxury that you don't think you could live without? Getting paid halfway decent at my current job. That's because I really need to be able to pay my bills. I really need to be able to do a bunch of stuff. What would your first question after waking up from being cryogenically frozen for 100 years? First of all, thanks to that person. I would thank them. Have we solved the climate crisis? I'm sort of somebody who's an environmentalist, so I think I'd be able to tell just being in the building. What is something that a ton of people are obsessed with, but you just don't get the point of? It may look ironic, but fast food. As somebody who used to be obsessed with it, I don't get the point of it anymore. It's too expensive. It's bad for you. It's just not nice. If you could turn any activity into an Olympic sport, what would you have a good chance of winning a gold medal for? Jeez, what would I earn the gold medal for? I'm not that confident in a lot of things. I think I'm confident in my burger making skills. I think making a particular dish that seems average on the surface but is actually baller. That's going to be my answer. Making something that sounds mediocre, not so mediocre. What piece of entertainment do you wish you could erase from your mind so you could experience it for the first time again? Oh, boy. My first original passion, music. For those of you who didn't know, I did music as my true profession for a little bit, but again, that has since changed to a myriad of other things because I just like everything. But music was definitely the start. And for those of you who wonder what you want to be when you grow up, you're not going to know until you do it, so don't sweat it. That's just me. If you had unlimited funds to build a house that you would like to live in for the rest of your life, what would the finished house be like? I wouldn't want too much space, but I'd want a house on a beach. I would want it to be big enough to host giant events and parties, and just overall have it be wonderful to be in, whether or not with some, with my fiance or just have a good time. I don't really know how else to answer that question. What gets you fired up? Oh boy. What gets you fired up? Let's just say in the negative way. What gets me mad? Anti-vaxxers and flat earthers. Those are the two people who get me mad the most as somebody who's a scientist. What makes a good life? Positivity. What makes a good life is your own positivity and your own self-influence. Only you can manifest how you feel about certain things, and being pessimistic in your life because, I've just lived with disappointment. Well, put yourself in a world where you could feel some sort of optimism instead of living and dwelling in a world where you feel as though you don't have control. Because deep down, you do. It may look hard on the surface, and trust me, I know it does. I've lived through that sort of depression myself, but you need to get out of your comfort zone, and you need to be able to put your best foot forward. If you're not willing to give yourself a second chance, then that's what makes a good life. Give yourself a second chance at everything. What are risks worth taking? What risks are worth taking? I'm sorry, I misread that question. What risks are worth taking? Literally doing anything out of your comfort zone. Because a lot of the times they tend to be good, but, you know, sometimes it's not. You know, whatever. What do you take for granted? Oh, boy. What things do I take for granted? I guess this is a question that a lot of people are going to think of right off the bat, but, you know. I'll come up with something. And if I don't, whatever. Who inspires you to be better? And everybody. I try to put my best foot forward with everything I do. And if I'm able to bring the best out of anyone, then that's who inspires me to do better. What do you have doubts about? I always get freaked out whenever I hear threats of the human race, things like that. So I have doubts that people want to be better or want to have something better for themselves. That's my thing. When do you feel truly alive? When I have accomplished something great, or when I'm able to do something or share something really huge with a large community. So when do you feel truly alive? When I help others. So there's my answer. What fact are you resigned to? What is a fact that bums me out? That in about the end of the century after I die, you know, the human race is in danger. That really freaks me out. It actually keeps me up at night, and it's actually made me cry. Because I worry about everybody, and I worry about the human race. What book impacted you the most? Oh, jeez. There's a lot of these. Astrophysics for People in a Hurry by Neil deGrasse Tyson. I love that book. I wouldn't say it impacted me like crazy, but that's just the one I remember the best. What is the best thing about you? My positivity. I like to think I stay optimistic and positive, but again, sometimes it's hard. What would a mirror opposite of yourself be like? Oh, what would the opposite version of me be like? An overconfident jerk. That's who I think it would be. What irrational fear do you have? Dying. What would be your spirit animal? Penguin. What would be the scariest monster you can imagine? If we're going to talk about a real monster like boogeyman type thing, the Quiet Place monster? It's going to be my guess. What is the hardest lesson you've learned? It's not your fault. What is something you're self-conscious about? My appearance. What is one or two of your favorite smells? Oh! Trading card pack smells. You know what? I'm feeling it. As soon as I said that, gotta experience it for myself. You know what? While we're here, I might as well. I already spotted a rare, but that's okay. Web Cocoon, Naina, Clodor. Or by the way, this is Silent Sands. Rock Cloud, Song of Desperation. Wow, really? They put it out of order. That's that's really strange. I don't know why. That's let's see, because I put 1, 2. I could have just grabbed the bottom 2 and did that, but you know, it is what it is. It's whatever. And my other favorite smell, I really like the smell of the shampoo and conditioner I currently use. Which, by the way, to answer another question, yes, I shower. Have you ever given to any charities? All the time. Whenever I have a store that offers to donate to charity, I say yes every time. Not only that, it rounds up your money. What's the last adventure you went on? California, baby, when I went to San Diego. What are 3 interesting facts about you? I do cosplay. I have gotten a child so excited through a cosplay that he stood up from his wheelchair and wobbled to me like a newborn deer. And I know how many celebrities? I know at least 9 celebrities. Not that I have like their phone numbers or anything, but you know. What is the best compliment you've ever received? You look nice today. What's a chance encounter that changed your life forever? Meeting Stan Lee. There you go. He came to me in a very important time in my life. What would you want your epitaph to be? I want them to look at my tombstone and see, well, this sucks. What are you really good at, but kind of embarrassed that you're good at it? Being able to come up with a compliment fast. I know a lot of people are like, oh, you're too nice, but I don't care. Being nice is... Listen, it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. What is the holy grail of your life? Oh, boy. What lofty goal do I have in mind? Getting my dream house and opening up my business that I want to eventually open in the future. What do you like most about your family? That they all appreciate my existence. What do people think is weird about you? My kindness. What is something you will never do again? I'm not going to answer that question. I'm not going to get into that one. Who is / was your most interesting friend? All of you. I think you're all interesting. What are you most likely very wrong about? I'm sure I'm wrong about a lot of things. I feel as though a majority of the things that I like, I tend to be wrong about in some shape, way, or form. What is the most immature thing that you do? I make a lot of dad jokes, and I'm sure, and sometimes I know it makes a lot of people mad, but I don't know. Some people find it to be immature, but it makes me smile. What stereotype do you completely live up to? I love to surf. Whenever I get the chance to be near the beach, I do generally try to go near the beach and all that, so I'm very surfer-like. So that's pretty stereotypical for me. What is the biggest lesson you never learned? I don't know, because I never learned it. What dumb accomplishment are you most proud of? Wow. I can't really say off the top of my head what is a dumb accomplishment that I'm proud of. What is the most memorable gift you have ever received? My signed Ursus and Chromax from Brian Gannon that I've currently got in my Tribeless deck. I actually have it right here. I can show you guys. Right there. Brian Gannon signature right there. I was sort of tempted to have him sign both my copies of Ursus and Chromax, but bam. Right there. Black and white. Just slide that in there. There you go. What chapters would you separate your autobiography into? I would start off with how I was adopted by my grandparents, then my car accident, general childhood, general teenagehood, meeting my fiance, and where I'm at now. What do you hope your last words will be? What's a bomb doing in the... What do you spend most of the time thinking about? How much I love people, but on the flip side, what is unfortunately something I spend a lot of time thinking about? Death, my greatest fear of all time. What is something you can never seem to finish? I finish everything I tried to do. What mistake do you keep making again and again? If I remember, I'll tell you. What is the best thing you've gotten from your parents? Their love and appreciation. What is the strangest thing you have come across? Oh, boy. The general public. If you could make a 20-second phone call to yourself at any point in your life or future, when would you call and what would you say? I would call myself the day I realized I was in love with my fiance, and I would tell my past self, take a second and relax. Don't make the mistakes that you've done in the past. There's a lot. What's the best and worst thing about getting older? The best thing is the freedoms that you have and the respect that you get. As of the worst thing, dying. Again, that's my greatest fear. Wow, this is going to make me depressed. If you could have a never-ending candle that smelled like anything you wanted, what fragrance would it be? Sandalwood. What is something you are certain you will never experience? Oh boy, what is something we'll never experience? I'm just gonna skip that one. Honestly, it's too depressing for me. What challenging thing are you working through these days? Making videos and a card game for all of you people out there. I'm gonna adjust my camera real quick. Bam. Whoops. It's a little too friendly. There we go. Much better, I think. What is one responsibility you really wish you didn't have? Taking care of everyone else. What do you wish your brain was better at doing? Remembering names. I can't remember names to save my life. If your childhood had a smell, what? If your childhood had a smell, what would it be? Scented candles, incense, and nail polish. Because those are the smells I typically remember from my little boyhood. I'm going to go to 150. That'll be the last question I answer. In your group of friends, what role do you play? Either comic relief or a general upbringer. Which of your scars had the best story behind it? I have a scar that goes from chest down, and it comes from my car accident. If you guys want that story, I'll tell you it. What have you created that you are the most proud of? Powerline Ultra. And this channel. What do you strongly suspect, but you have no proof of? That no one is born evil. What were some of the turning points of your life? My car accident, meeting my fiance, realizing that I had a fear of death in the first place. There's a few. What bends your mind every time you think about it? That humans and the universe are made of the same basic ingredients of life. It's pretty cool. What's the title of the current chapter of your life? The realization of relaxation. Among your friends or family, what are you most famous for? Being the guy who works the job I currently work at. Unfortunately. What is something that your friends wouldn't believe was true about you? That I've cheated death 4 times. Or 5, one or the other. What is something horrible that you wish everyone should try once? Something horrible? Swearing. You need to swear once. If you had a personal... well, there you go. If you had a personal flag, what would be on it? I think what would be cool is the atom symbol. The symbol for the atom. But each little like ball or electron or whatever it is off the top of my head, I can't remember. Was like a heart, brain, lightning bolts, just symbols of life. I think that would be it. But guys, there you go. That was supposed to be 150 questions. I have no idea how many I actually answered, but there you guys go. If you learned something new about me, cool. If you want me to do the rest of the 50 questions, let me know in the comments down below. In the meantime, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace!